pain too. She thinks she knows more. Yes, you are fatter than me. But my pain...
Yes, ChatGPT said. What began as a routine filming day at Amy Slaton's Modest Dixon. Kentucky home spiraled into the kind of white-hot confrontation that makes producers exchange nervous looks and camera operators grip their rigs a little tighter. And before anyone could blink, the living room still warm with the smell of reheated coffee and the faint, sugary trace of a half-eaten Pop-Tart became a pressure cooker where old resentments hissed and rattled under the lid until the inevitable boil over. You are not making my son drive you in. Amanda snapped the second her boots crossed the threshold, her gaze raking across the sink stacked with last night's plates. The toy cars lodged under the TV stand, the laundry hills slumped on the couch like it had given up mid-climb. I'm not making your son do a damn thing, Amy shot back, jaw set, cheeks flushed. That elastic line between embarrassment and fury tightening until it trembled, and then voices overlapped. Amy, get that out of my face. Get your hands off, then get the off. Stop playing with me. She put her hands on me. I'm so sick of you trying to be the big. I'm so tired of everybody goddamn lowered down. The words clattering over each other like dropped cutlery while two tiny boys peered from behind a doorway. Half curious, half frightened. Their cartoons still blinking on mute where a sound tech had killed the volume to clean the track. What producers had envisioned up. Tidy little sisterly check-in with some light housekeeping help and Amy's trademark self-deprecating humor collapsed on impact with the reality of two grown women who know each other too well to pull their PL. And we know we're too safe. And we all know I've been exploring that. And we all know I've been exploring that path. Well, namely sixerly check-in with some light scaife canes, at with six lace queeping help. I see if we see, quote, with six, quote, cacade conlest, accord we see. I don't cow with skate we see with six quo. I see with a K with we at we see with sick we with sis quick cat we say to cow with sick quake at the seaside we at you do we see we if I we I to suda I could we get gonna you to the eric q to decide could with if sucker I give with we work with I think you get can we punches, and the crew felt it at a bone level. The DPI's shoulders rose. The boom-op hovered. The field producer in the hallway mouthed slowed down to no one in particular. But the momentum was already ripping past them, fed by years of history that didn't care about call sheets or beer roll plans. Because before there were cameras, there were two girls growing up in Kentucky learning to speak plainly. To argue like breathing, to defend the softest parts of themselves with barbed wire jokes. And when life got sharper and heavier, marriages, health scares, money that came in weird TV-shaped waves. It's kind of internet attention that feels like standing on a roof in a thunderstorm. Those old instincts sharpened too, turning concern into commands and love into lectures. And on this morning, Amanda's version of help walked through the door first, chin high, scanning for the fastest path to order. The way a big sister does when she's worn the protector role so long it's fused to the bone. This isn't a good way to live, and it's definitely not a good way to raise those children. She said, the words clipped, each syllable a bright edge that glinted more because the red tally light was on, and Amy felt the heat of it, though. Sting of being measured in front of strangers, of having private mess turned into public curriculum, and she reacted like a match head. You think you're flawless, Amanda? You don't know what I'm dealing with. I'm doing this alone. The room absorbed the shift air denser. Microphones suddenly too heavy. The soft beep of a battery pack sounding like a siren, and if peace had been possible, it might have happened right there. If someone had swallowed pride and passed a dish towel instead of another judgment. But this moment wasn't born today. It was months deep and layered. The divorce unraveling Amy's life in 2023. The two boys needs like twin suns around which everything had to orbit. The tiredness that lives in the back of the neck when bills and filming schedules tug at opposite ends of the same person. The way a house can start to feel like a verdict when the laundry mountain grows and the toys are a chorus of tiny accusations underfoot. Amanda believed honestly and fiercely that the antidote to chaos was structure. That love is sometimes a raised voice and a list on the fridge and a car trunk full of plastic bins. And in her mind, the cameras could watch if they wanted. She wasn't going to look away from what she thought needed saying so when Amy pushed back. Amanda pushed harder. You need to stop making excuses. When someone tries to help, you shove them away, then wonder why you're drowning. And every syllable landed like a pebble dropped in a deep well that nobody wanted to listen to echo. Amy's throat tightened, and then something inside that had been neatly folded for years came loose, voice climbing without permission. Since we were kids, you treat me like I'm stupid. Like because you lost weight faster and your house looks like a picture in a magazine, you're better. Well, good for you, but I am not you. And that sentence, that I am not you, peeled a layer off the day and exposed the oldest wound. The comparisons nobody says out loud until they do. The way public transformations come with private measurements. The way love between sisters sometimes wears the mask of competition until you don't know which is which. And you never listen to anyone? Amanda fired back. The rhythm of an argument they'd had in softer ways 100 times slotting into place as if the lines had been rehearsed. You make your bed and then cry that you have to lie in it. And in the corner, a camera operator realized his hands were trembling and locked his elbows, steadying his frame while Amy vibrating with that high-frequency anger that makes the world tiny. Shouldered past into the kitchen, the cupboard door ricocheting off the frame with a crack so clean the boom mic caught the wood fibers, complaining. A sound that would later make an editor flinch in an air-conditioned bay. I'm done filming today, she said to the room, and the room pretended to be professional about it. The producer's voice dropping into that gentle register reserved for deer on icy roads. Let's take a breather. Maybe we pivot to the boys' craft time. But Amanda, still pulsing with the conviction that honesty is better than harmony, muttered, grow up, and the mic barely made it. Just a ghost of a consonant brushed by the errand. The producer tried to shepherd Amanda into the hallway to change the light, change the subject, change the trajectory, anything but what it now clearly wanted to be. Outside on the porch, January cold nosed in under the trim, Amy's chest hitched. Tears coming in those hot, embarrassed bursts that burn even when no one is watching. A sound tech unclipped her pack fingers quick, face soft hand handed her a water bottle with the cap already cracked so she wouldn't have to wrestle with it. And behind the thin door, the living room sounded like a stage being struck after a doomed play. Bits of tape pulled from the floor. Someone apologizing to no one. The DP whispering into his sleeve mic, we're cutting, we're cutting, we're cutting. Like a mantra. If that had been the end, if cars had turned over and the day been chalked up to talent not available, the story would have been a sharp sting and then a scab, but there was still the driveway. The open sky above, the audience of neighbors, behind curtains, and the way anger sometimes saves its cruelest lines for outside where there's room for them to run. The cameras, by most accounts, were on stands cooling. The official filming called, but phones exist and memories are crispest in fresh air. And multiple people later described how Amy stepped off the porch with that particular tired fury that looks like a storm has centered itself in a person, telling Amanda that she'd waited to humiliate her until the cameras were rolling, that she'd chosen spectacle over sisterhood. And Amanda, who hears accusation like a dare, fired back that she wasn't going to lie to help anyone look better on TV, that she'd rather be called mean than be complicit in mess. And somewhere in that exchange, a boy began to cry inside the house, and a crew member closed the door quietly. To dampen the sound, a gesture of mercy in a scene that was all edge. To understand how the words burrowed so deep, you have to know the months before. Amy trying to be two parents at once. shifting her days around nap schedules and school pickup, learning the geometry of single motherhood where every triangle of time presses into the others, the way fatigue changes the shape of rooms and turns small tasks into mountains, the way a televised life means your mess is crowdsourced and your pride bleeds in the comments section. And on the other side, Amanda carrying a clipboard in her head, budgets, lists, solutions, believing that love is the ability to insist on a better version of someone even when they're too tired to want it. Believing that TV has a gravity of its own, and if you don't plant your feet, it will drag you into its orbit until you forget where the floor is. The argument stretched and snapped, stretched and snapped. A rubber band fight where each release stung. You made me look terrible. You made yourself look terrible. You only come here to control. I come here because I care. The kind of sentences that always feel true in the mouth and regrettable in the replay. And around them, the production ecosystem tried to triage the day. A PA gently picked toy dinosaurs off the floor like they were eggs. The line producer tapped out an email about scheduled changes with fingers that still shook. The showrunner paced the sidewalk in a slow rectangle and crafted phrases he might have to say later. We're prioritizing well-being. We're a family-first production, while doing mental math about how much of this could ever make air without becoming something uglier than ratings. Because here's the quiet truth nobody wants to say on camera. Reality TV collapses if there's no reality in it, and also collapses if the reality hurts too much. And find that balance is like threading a needle while people are screaming into your ear. And on this day, the needle fell into the grass and everyone was on. Everyone was on.
Hey, Molly, bring me a tissue or something.
Amy Slaton and Amanda. Halterman's on-set blow-up is fast becoming one of the most whispered about scandals in the history of 1000 Sisters. A moment that longtime viewers and crew insiders alike say was unlike anything they had ever witnessed, a clash so raw and personal that even seasoned TLC producers were left debating whether the footage should ever see the light of day. And yet the fight's roots run far deeper than the cameras captured, stretching back through months of simmering tensions, off-camera slights, and a family dynamic complicated by fame, public scrutiny, and the relentless pressures of reality TV production. It all began innocuously enough during what was supposed to be a heartwarming shoot in Dixon, Kentucky, with Amanda visiting Amy to help her adjust to life as a single mom after her divorce from Michael. A scene the production notes described as supportive sister bonding. Light chores, playful teasing. But according to multiple sources close to the show, producers had quietly been tracking the sisters' rising hostility for weeks, noting sharp text exchanges, pointed remarks during interviews, and moments of visible irritation that never made it to air. And while no one told them to fight, there was a distinct decision to let the tension play out for the cameras. The morning of the shoot, Amy was already in a fragile state. Having been up since 5 a.m. with her 2 young sons, juggling breakfast, laundry, a desperate attempt to make the living room look presentable before the crew arrived. But Amanda's very first remark upon stepping inside, allegedly, "This place is a disaster," said with a critical glance at the cluttered space, landed like a grenade, instantly shifting the mood from warm reunion to defensive standoff. And from there, things escalated rapidly, with Amy later telling a friend she felt ambushed, convinced that Amanda had been saving her sharpest criticisms for the moment the cameras were rolling so she couldn't respond without looking like the villain. While Amanda reportedly told a crew member that she was simply speaking the truth and refused to sugarcoat her concerns. According to one leaked account from an uncut section of footage that will likely never air, Amanda told Amy, "Your kids deserve better than this mess." To which Amy shot back, "At least I'm here for my kids every day," a remark that visibly shook Amanda, who has long prided herself on being the dependable, responsible sibling. And from there, the argument spiraled into territory no producer had planned for. dredging up childhood grievances, accusations of favoritism, and bitter comparisons over who had their life more together. With a boom mic operator recalling overhearing Amy accuse Amanda of always trying to make me look like a bad mom and wanting to be the favorite, while Amanda, reportedly trembling with emotion, countered that Amy lives in denial and pushes away anyone who's honest with her, and that she couldn't just watch you self-destruct. Crew members say that at one point producers huddled in the kitchen debating whether to step in, with one veteran camera operator admitting, "We've seen them fight before, but this one felt like it could break them apart forever." Yet they kept filming, capturing Amy's dramatic exit as she slammed a door so hard a picture frame fell from the wall. An image that, according to insiders, became a kind of shorthand among the team for the moment things truly went off the rails. While the fight on camera was intense enough, multiple witnesses claim the real explosion happened after the formal wrap, when an outdoor confrontation between the sisters turned physical in its aggression, though not violent, with Amy accusing Amanda of humiliating her to boost her own role on the show, and Amanda retorting, "I don't care about camera time, I care about the truth." The shouting reportedly so loud that it rocked a nearby production van door when it was slammed shut. The fallout was immediate and visible, with Amanda abruptly absent from multiple subsequent episodes, triggering a flood of speculation across Reddit threads, TikTok commentary videos, and Facebook fan groups, where theories ranged from Amanda being suspended by TLC to her quitting in protest, to secret contract renegotiations aimed at keeping her and Amy from filming together. And one widely shared anonymous tweet, allegedly from someone connected to the crew, claimed that executives even discussed permanently splitting the sisters' filming schedules to avoid further scandals. Behind the scenes, Amy was said to be furious with TLC for letting the situation spiral, feeling that they had every opportunity to shut the fight down early but chose to sit back and get the footage, leaving her to face a wave of online criticism over a moment she insisted was far more complex than it appeared. While Amanda, according to friends, was equally resolute that she had no reason to apologize, believing she was the only one willing to confront Amy with the hard truths about her lifestyle, and that pretending everything was fine would be a greater betrayal. Fueling the speculation is the existence of additional unreleased footage from that day, described by multiple production sources as so explosive it would shock even hardcore reality TV fans, with one editor claiming it included lines that could change how people see both sisters forever, and hinting that TLC might hold it back for a possible uncut special or reunion episode. Meanwhile, those close to the family say that since the incident, the sisters' interactions have been strictly surface level, with minimal off-camera contact and a lingering frostiness even during group scenes, a stark shift from the more openly affectionate, occasionally combative dynamic they once had. For viewers used to thinking of reality TV fights as staged or exaggerated, crew members insist this one was entirely genuine, born of years of unspoken resentments finally breaking through. And one veteran staffer put it bluntly, this wasn't for the cameras, this was two sisters finally saying the things they'd been holding back for years. And once they did, there was no going back. And while TLC has maintained its usual public silence, refusing to confirm or deny rumors about blacklisting, contract changes, or production manipulation, the whispers in industry circles suggest that the Amy-Amanda fight has become a cautionary tale within the network about how far they can push volatile relationships for drama without risking a total collapse of the show's core cast, leaving the question hanging over Season 8, will Amanda remain part of the series? Or has this infamous day marked the point of no return?